long as you're happy, you're always gonna grin. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. Never gonna lose, never gonna win. Long as you're happy, you're always gonna grin.
Very,
You
very
get
exciting.
out what you
Thanks,
put in.
Hamilton.
You get out what you put in. You
I
get
can now say I'm a TEDx
what you
speaker.
put in.
Hello, Caroline Hobden. How are you?
I am doing so well. How are you?
I'm brilliant. Did you see Aaron dancing in the green room then?
I think that you need to have a video on all of us because we're all bobbing away to the music. It's so good.
But you and I sort of like stressing about what we've got to say and who we've got coming on and stuff like that. So yeah, how are you?
I'm really good. I'm just can't wait. We're getting closer. The big day is
28
getting
days.
Look at that. Look at that.
28 days.
And there's so much still to talk about. I just can't wait.
Well, do you know, you send me an email at the beginning of the week. This is one I want to announce this week. I'm like, this is crazy. How can you keep bringing new stuff in?
There's going to be new stuff every
superb.
week. New stuff every
So
week.
come on. What are we talking about today, Caroline?
Well, I'm very excited for your guests today because we've got the wonderful Johann, Goree and Aaron Patrick from Ask the Accountant. So we are going to have a whole room full of podcasters. So I'm very excited about that. It's going to be great. But we're working with these wonderful guys who are going to be doing the podcast Pitstop at Accountex. They'll be doing live recordings, loads of interviews. They'll be doing their famous grid walk around the show. Johann's going to be speaking at the event as well on how to get your bookkeeping practice ready for sale. It's just incredible, and it's all themed around the driving element and Formula One. And just while we're on that theme, I just want to remind everybody that we have got a very exciting keynote speaker at the show. Many will know Lewis Hamilton. We have got Lewis Hamilton's brother, Nicholas Hamilton, and he's a British touring car driver, and he's a motivational speaker with an incredible story of how he has been driven to inspire. That's the name of his session. So I really recommend people come and watch that.
Oh, this is fantastic. Is it me, or did the olden days of Accountex used to just be tax and accounting sorts of talks? But now we're getting all these amazing people in, lots of whom I'm being able to chat to on the show. It's brilliant. Well done.
It's so fun, and it's so inspiring. I've been doing trade shows for nearly 25 years over, and it always used to be just the exhibition and a few talks, and now we've got 180 seminar sessions. We've got a huge exhibition, but we've got so many of these extra features as well, lots of which I've been announcing on your show, which has been really exciting. So it's not just a day at an event, it's a day to celebrate the profession and be inspired and put changes into your practice, into your business. So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I put a post up today. And on the post, someone said, "Oh, they'd like to come, but they can't." What are they missing out on, Caroline?
There's so much going on. And I really hope that they could find a way of getting to the show because I know that they're going to have a great time. But we have got a couple of announcements to make, Ashley, which I'm very excited about.
Come on.
So this week's announcements are, the first one is that we're going to be working with our friends at the Accounting Influencers, and they are going to be hosting some roundtables at the show. Now, this is something that we wanted to do for a while. Space has always been a bit of an issue, but we've managed to find some office space off the show floor where you can really delve deep into these important conversations, where you can analyze the trends and discuss the issues impacting the profession. So I would just really encourage anyone that would like to get involved to send a direct message on LinkedIn to Rob Brown from Accounting Influencers, and you could be joining conversations surrounded by some incredible peers. So yeah, really exciting. But that's not all.
That's not all. Come on, what else have you got?
We have got a very exciting cyber security hub at the show. Now, we're working with the team at the Cyber Resilience Centre and the Met Police as well.
Whoa.
So they're going to be hosting a virtual team room, and you can actually go and test your problem solving skills and critical thinking to see if you can escape from the cybersecurity escape room. And we really encourage you to come along. You can also speak speak to them and get advice on your own cybersecurity concerns and help ensure that your business is safe in this very trying market at times with some naughty little people out there trying to get into our firewalls and things. So yeah, very excited about that.
No, that's cool. And Path has just come in to say he's looking forward to exhibiting and meeting us all at Accountex in 28 days. So yeah, we're going to come and see you on your stand, Path. Yeah, cybersecurity, very, very important. So yeah, this is. Have you just taken over the whole of Excel?
It's quite a big show, not quite. We're, you know, global domination is my aim, but we're not there just yet. But it's a big show. It's a big show.
Awesome. Anything else to tell us, or because I think that's it, isn't it?
That's it for this week. There'll be more.
No, okay.
Of course. And before I go, just to remind everybody that next week we have got the My Namesake But No Relation, Phil Hobden from Silverfin, Rachel Harris from StriveX and Accountancy, and Stuart Hurst from Cloud 10 Accounting. They're going to be talking about lots of things, I'm sure, but they're doing a fantastic speaker session at the show called Putting the Personal into Personal Branding, How Authenticity Equals Revenue and Growth. I mean, they are the experts, so not to be missed next week.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be such a good show. And Rachel's got her own little stand there. And I say little, 3 by 6 meters.
Yeah, she's doing her content creation clinic again. So yeah, it's going to be amazing.
And that's right next door to the LinkedIn Lounge.
That is right next door to your LinkedIn Lounge, Ashley. So there's so much advice to get.
Right, Caroline, I'm going to have to kick you out because I can see Johann and Aaron are trying to get in. So thanks ever so much for coming along. See you next week.
See you next week. Have a great show. Bye, guys.
Yeah, cheerio. Bye now. Johann, Aaron, gents, how the devil are you?
Good afternoon.
This is surreal.
Why?
Well, because every Monday morning I see you guys pop up and I'm popping and have a little chat and I'm like, oh, these guys are brilliant. And then you're on my show. Like, oh, now you're going to see how rubbish I am.
But you just have to ask Ashley. We'll always come to your show. We love your show.
Absolutely. We do need to sort that out because today we're talking about Accountex and Pitstop and stuff like that. But the word on the street, client engager. So yeah, for anybody that doesn't know you guys, quick introduction, please. We'll do it alphabetically. That means you're going first, Aaron.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm Aaron Patrick. I am the QuickBooks chap online. So if you've got any QuickBooks questions, anything to do with QuickBooks at all, then drop me a message. I've got a YouTube channel, LinkedIn page, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, go from there. I have a counselling firm called Boffix, and that's what we're going to talk about today. We have a podcast called Ask the Accountant that goes live each and every Monday morning, 8:30 a.m. for your listening pleasure. And what we're going to talk about today is one of our sub brands of Ask the Accountant, which is all about making sure you guys can get maybe your very first podcast you've ever had. That's what we're going to do at Accountex itself. So yeah, look forward to it.
Brilliant. Oh, I've got loads of questions for you today. Johann, just in case anyone hasn't a clue who you are.
Yeah, so I am the co-founder of Client Engager. I have got an accounting firm called On Point Accounting. I do podcasting, etc., with Mr. Aaron Patrick. And I've also got a YouTube channel where I look at the different software and tech that I use in my day-to-day life so I can juggle all of these different plates at the same time without dropping any normally.
Yeah, that's the trouble, isn't it? Is that you are juggling an awful lot of plates while riding a unicycle on a tightrope above alligators. Is that right?
Yeah, and they're all being fed plates.
So you guys are doing the pit stop and grid walk. What does that mean? What are we going to see when we come to Accountex?
Well, I'll do the pit stop, the grid walks first of all, because that was kind of our first idea. So last time we were at Accountex, we had this great idea because we were involved. We had a speaking spot. We were talking on QuickBooks stand and all this sort of thing. And we're like, how can we make sure everyone else knows about how amazing Accountex is and what's it all about and get a bit of FOMO and everything else that comes with it? So our idea was, well, let's go around and do grid walk. So if you've ever seen Formula One, you ever seen Martin Brundle's little grid walk, it's inspired exactly from him. And the idea is we go around, we show people that the creation clinic, like you just said, will be definitely showing the LinkedIn Lounge as well. We go around each and every place that we can think of. We walk around before the place opens. We just want to show people how amazing, how much detail goes into it, what behind the scenes little bits we can. And what we like doing is then talking to the vendors beforehand. It's just like Formula One, right? Like they're starting to get a little bit excited, a little bit giddy about the fact that the doors are about to open. So we head over there, we interview them, we talk to them, find the vibe that they've got, maybe get some, some behind the scenes information about it, or let us know that there's going to launch XYZ or whatever it's going to be. So we just want to get that essence of how exciting that first half an hour before it goes live really is. And yeah, it's been one of our most successful ideas we've had. We're one of the ones we'll just have an idea just out of nowhere, and as we always get told, most of the time we have great ideas but poorly executed. But I think this is one where we have a great idea and we've executed it right each time. So yeah, we absolutely love it. But Johann, you want to talk about Pitstop podcasts?
Yeah, so Ask the Accountant podcast Pitstops. Again, F1 themed. Can you tell we're a bit of F1 fans?
Sounds like it, doesn't it?
Yes. So what we were thinking is, how do we give accountants and bookkeepers opportunities to be interviewed on podcasts when, Aaron and I struggle to get interviews. We don't all have fantastic podcasts like Mr. Ashley Leeds, who welcomes anybody in and will have a chat with anyone. Most podcasts they're behind a paywall, or people are nervous because it's like, it's a big thing to do for the first time. So what we do is we have a stand at these events and we open a booking link, normally books up within an hour, and anyone can come along and have a podcast pit stop with us. And basically they come on, they have a 20-minute-ish podcast recording with us. Either myself or Aaron or both of us will ask the questions. It's a set script of questions, so it's nice and easy, nothing to trip up on. And then we professionally record it, edit it, and publish it one a week for the next amount of weeks. And then that person's got this podcast that they can share on their social media. And it just gives them that little step into content creation and being interviewed and being in front of a camera in a more supportive, friendly way. So yeah, we wanted to give accountants and bookkeepers that opportunity to have that experience and decide, is that for me or not? And if it is, great, they can go on and do more. Maybe they go and spin off their own podcast, even better. And even if it's not, they're walking away with a bit of content they can share with their clients, because we're talking about them, we're talking about their business, we're talking about why they go to these events. So, Accountex will get a lot of content out of this from us, because we're creating content for them as well as for those people we're interviewing.
Genius. Who came up with that idea?
Joint effort.
Yeah, absolute genius. Because the thing is, right, how long have you been podcasting, guys?
2 years, is it now, roughly?
So it was May 2022. Aaron and I sat outside in the evening of Accountex at the Fox having a pint, and we said we should do a podcast.
Right. Okay.
First time we'd met in person. We'd come across each other on the QuickBooks side.
No,
of things.
seriously. You've only met each other in person after 2 years. That's incredible.
And we said we ought to do a podcast. Well, we went live October 2022, and we do it every week.
So that was in the Fox before or after a beer?
After.
They're always the best meetings, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, that is fantastic. And so when you set up a podcast, it's not like, I've needed it in. And there's a million different things that you've got to do. But it's not as difficult as it seems, is it? And I think by doing your pit stop, you're actually sharing the complexities and making it simple for anybody that wants to get involved.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
100%. And technology is helping, right? Like we both randomly are using exactly the same platform to send a StreamYard that we've been using. Like you just need not even a subscription, you get a free version of StreamYard. You can interview people remotely. You can set up fancy little intros. Like we love your intro you've just shown now. It's absolutely brilliant.
Thank you.
You're off to the races, right? Like that is the essence of a podcast. It's just having that conversation, having that opportunity to talk about it. We all have these conversations with our clients anyway. We're always giving advice away or talking about X, Y, Z, or giving our opinions in the pub, like we've just said. And it's just formalizing that. And that's what it's all about, is just giving a platform. And for us, it was a no-brainer. We already know that, there was so much we wanted to talk about the industry. We needed a helping hand. It still does. It needs more people to showcase how good the industry is. So that's why we help and encourage people to go out there and start podcasts and go out there. And hopefully for us, the podcast pit stop can be your entry level into starting new podcasts going forward. So that's what the dream is.
Yeah, you dip your toe in the water at Accountex. Okay, so I'm planning to go to Accountex. I quite fancy the idea of this pit stop. How do I ensure that I get a slot with you guys?
So subscribe to our YouTube channel, LinkedIn, etc.
Yep.
And then we will announce normally the day before the first day, the link with where you can.
This is like getting Glastonbury tickets.
Oh, well, you got to be quick. You got to be ready for it. So we won't tell you when we're going to put out the link, but we'll put out the link across our socials. And we might sometimes we have a pre-registration link if we think we're going to have a lot of people. So you can pre-register and then get notified when the link goes live. But even then, you've got to be quick.
Wow.
And it's just like a Calendly booking thing where you go, I want that slot. Now, obviously, bear in mind when your favourite speakers are going to be on, because if you don't turn up, we hunt you down. We send Lizzie after you.
Oh, my dear. I've seen Lizzie.
Yeah, she's absolutely lovely until you don't turn up. And then, that's it. You're booked in and you turn up. We have a conversation, and then we let you know once we send you the recording. Once it's done and edited, you can. I shouldn't have said that. Brenda in the office is going to be really upset I said that about Brenda. Can you cut that out? We can cut that out. We can keep it completely as you want. All we ask, because we've been burnt by this in the past, is if you are talking on behalf of an organisation where you are not the owner, is that you have their consent to speak to us first. Because there's nothing worse than someone taking a slot, recording with us, or spending time editing all of that. Because even though it's a 20-minute show, as it were, it still takes a good hour or two to edit it all and get all the sound and stuff right. To then be told they didn't have permission to speak to you, you're not using that content. So that's all we ask is, if you're coming to us, we'd love to have a chat with you. If you're working for a company and your boss doesn't want to talk about them or their business, then we'll talk to you about you. That's not an issue.
Yeah.
But we just need to know that, and we need to know you've got permission to talk about what you're going to talk about.
Perfect. Love it. Absolutely love that. That's really good. If you are listening to this on the podcast, if you scroll down to the bottom, there's some notes, and that link will be in there, so you can connect with the guys. Pavel is watching. So hi, Pavel, how you doing? You coming to Accountex this year, sir?
He's normally there, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. I think he comes up. He literally lives just up the road, so I could give him a lift. When are you guys turning up at Accountex?
Well, we've got to get there a bit early because we've got to go set up.
Day before.
Yeah, so we've got to get all the cameras all set up, all the gear, everything else. We've got to plan our grid walk, and also we're doing a little VR racing rig as well, or pit stop, or Formula One based as well. So you can get in, put a VR headset on, and go drive Silverstone. So we're going to need to figure out how that works and get all that set up. So we'll be there day before.
So you'll be there Tuesday. I will see you there. And how long are you staying?
2 nights, isn't it? Normally. Yeah.
So all I'll just say is, when you come and see our setup, you all go, "Oh, that looks expensive." You've got all the cameras and stuff and all the sound gear, and we have, but you don't need all of that to do a podcast, guys. You just need a webcam, and even if that's all you've got, like a microphone will help with the audio. You don't come to our pit stop and think, "Oh my god, I wanted to get into this. I thought I might want to get into this. I can't afford all of this." We've only got all the gear because we want to do right by our guests. You and the people we are interviewing.
But you've also been doing it an awful long time.
Yeah.
And you're doing other things as well. But look, we've all got one of these. I'm holding up my mobile phone now.
That's where we started.
Absolutely. I did a series of starting a podcast. I had a guest on who's a podcaster and teaches people how to podcast. So you can find that on my YouTube channel, on my old podcasts. 4 weeks of what we should be doing. And the first thing he says is, don't worry about the kit. Worry about starting.
Yep.
Because that's the thing, isn't it? We talk like, we procrastinate. We get this done, and we get that done, and we get that done, and we can't do anything until we just start.
Yeah,
That's
I think the first grid walk we did was recorded on an iPhone Mini, 13 Mini.
Yeah.
Like that was not even the high end of the iPhones at the time. That was, and it was a couple of years old. Like that's all you need is your iPhone or your Android, whatever you got. Just press record.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that pressing record and go for it, we wouldn't have known that, oh, actually, we need to start thinking about incorporating this into the next grid walk. And, oh, actually, we should think about having this bit of gear to make our life easier. So you press record, you get it done, and then you just review it, find it, and improve on it, right? And that should be it. Every piece of content that you ever do, it's opportunity to record, review, and then improve on it.
So why should... So I'm another accountant now, or a bookkeeper. I'm listening to this. Why should I have a podcast?
You've got to figure out what you're aiming for, right? So when we first started Ask the Accountant, we were sat there, we were deciding what's our demographic going to be, who we aiming it for, and we've changed that because originally we were like, well, it'd be nice to bring in some new clients, it'd be nice to bring in new opportunities to the industry and everything else, but actually what we can do the most good at and what we continue to push for is helping the industry. Like, can we bring more people into the industry? Is there a way where we can make accounting more sexy than it has been before? Is there an opportunity for us to help accountants have more efficient workflows so we can look at new vendors, new software solutions, and call out software solutions when they're not doing too well? That's what it's all about. It's for us, we changed what our demographic is, but for anyone out there, there's loads of opportunity. There's plenty popping up at the moment who are just aiming at trying to get themselves some new clients, and that's absolutely brilliant. That's a great way of pushing yourself out there. You're going to build so much trust, aren't you, if you do a podcast each and every week or whatever your time frame is going to be, and you go from there. It's exactly the same principle of having my YouTube channel. That's why I have a YouTube channel. It's to push for new clients and push for new opportunities. So you have that chance, you have that opportunity to bring a new client, or if you want to help the industry, there's loads of reasons why to bring it through. And ultimately for me, I think it's just that best platform that you can start, grow, build up. There's so many tools out there, so much tech out there that makes it easier. It's no brainer for me.
It's evergreen as well. Like,
yes,
that's
what I was going to say.
Like it's evergreen. It's really simple. It's just you talking. So there's no one there judging you or correcting you or anything. It's just you talking. And like you can share your opinions, you can demonstrate your expertise. That is the easiest way. Like when I started my accounting firm, most of my clients came from me speaking at local business events about getting, the basics of bookkeeping and stuff. I demonstrated my expertise. By doing that, I built trust. Because I was open about all the information they needed. From that, I got my clients. So it's such a good way of achieving goals.
And so if I'm running my bookkeeping firm, what sort of things could I talk about on my podcast each week?
Well, what we like, go on, Jan.
Right. So if you have got a focus in your company brand about environmental impact, talk about that and how, as an accountant or bookkeeper, you're helping your clients achieve that. I've got a story where we haven't got a brand around being environmental, but I always shout out about a client who has reduced their food waste because they put all of their coffee beans into bags for people to go and use as fertilizer on the gardens. Like, it saves them a bit of money in the food waste. That was the goal, but actually it's really environmental. There's all sorts of stories that you cover. You see all sorts and hear all sorts in your day-to-day work. That actually, you're completely fine to share those stories and insights without any worry of breach of intellectual property or anything like that. So it could be anything. It could just whatever works for you and you feel comfortable about talking.
Yeah, it's that comfortability, right? Like for us, tech is always going to be a big part for us. We love showcasing the newest toy that you might be able to get to help you interact with your client, or we love talking about the newest software that's out there that's going to help with AI and bring that in. Like that's our comfort blanket for me and Johann. Like we can talk about that day in, day out, and we can always bring topics there. So just find something that you already have an interest in, find something you've already got a passion for, and you just push it through from there. And it's the same passion and same talk you'd have again when you're at the Fox after Accountex. I'm sure each and every one of us will be talking about something or bringing something to the table at that point, because we're social animals, aren't we, humans? Like, we love having that interaction. We love talking. So same principles, like whatever you get passionate about talking about, there's your way into podcasting, because there's going to be someone out there who's going to want to listen and take note.
Yeah, I think the thing I like about a podcast is that it's quite an intimate way of getting to know somebody, because they're doing that, you know, they're sharing you with their washing up, or they're walking the dog, or driving a long distance, or sat on the train, and it's quite weird how it works. I have people messaging me saying, "Oh, I've just heard a podcast that you did," and it was like 6 or 12 months ago. And they'll come, you know, "Oh, I really like this, and I've got a question because of that." You never know, do you?
I did a podcast 2 years ago for a business coach that does mergers and acquisitions. Literally yesterday, I still got inquiries off the back of that podcast from 2 years ago. You just, like, it's evergreen, it's constantly there. You just don't know. Sometimes it won't hit home straight away. Other times it will hit home straight away. Like, it's a fantastic way of just demonstrating your expertise or showing your passion for something.
So the other thing with podcasting then is maybe I don't want to be doing my own podcast and worrying about who I talk to and all that sort of stuff. I could be a guest on other podcasts. What tips have you got for getting guest slots onto podcasts?
People need to know who you are to start with.
Okay.
You need to be discoverable, shall we say. So, yeah, Aaron has got his QuickBooks channel on YouTube, so people know Aaron is the QuickBooks chap. They see his content, they see what he talks about. So he then gets invited on to things like his retail podcasts and his reselling podcasts and stuff. People have seen me talking about acquisitions. They've seen me on LinkedIn and talking about software, and that gets me invited onto those types of podcasts. So don't just sit there waiting for someone to ring you. You need to be showing people you've got a passion or a knowledge or an expertise in something, that people will go, when they're sat there going, right, who are we going to invite on our podcast? They'll go, oh, you know what? I actually saw a really interesting LinkedIn post or YouTube video or TikTok or whatever it is. I think they'd make a great guest.
Yep.
And then make sure your contact details are there. Like, obviously on LinkedIn and stuff, it's easy. They just message you directly. But whatever platforms you're putting it on, make sure you're contactable.
Yeah, it's personal brand, isn't it? And biggest tip, like, follow Ashley's Monday nudge, you know, because that's how you're going to build a personal brand, right? Like, if you follow that advice there, you're going to be able to keep putting content out there. People are going to understand what you're passionate about, what you're not passionate about. And that's when you start bringing it in. I was naive enough to think that, you know, for me to go on to Counting Web's podcasts or anything like that, it was, they'll come to me and they'll talk to me. But no, I had to make those connections, and the only reason that then I'd have a right to make those connections, or at least an opportunity to be invited there, is again because of my personal brand and pushing it from there. So yeah, follow Ashley's advice, follow from there, and you'll soon start growing your personal brand from that.
No, fantastic. So every Monday you do Ask the Accountant. Tell just in case someone doesn't know, tell us what that is and how we get involved in that.
So the idea is it goes live each and every Monday morning. Consistency is really key for this sort of thing. And we talk about whatever topics have happened that week. Last week, we were talking about how there was some news about an acquisition in the accounting world and bringing it through from there. And we'll talk about acquisitions. We'll talk about new software. We'll talk about problems with software. We'll talk about changes to HMRC, changes to Companies House. It's just about keeping your pulse on what's happening in the world of accounting, right? And for us, we just want to make sure the community is involved. So it's completely live chat. Everyone can talk, everyone can ask questions, everyone can put information in, and we just involve everyone and bring it forward. And as soon as that's finished, it's live, done and dusted. We then push it to all the podcasting places around the world. And yeah, we just grow from there. And honestly, like, that's our kingpin for us, that Ask the Accountant daily weekly show. That's where all these other ideas have come from, and that's where the brands come from. And now that we've kind of got a bit of kudos behind us because we're consistent, we're pushing it and everything else, and you know, that's where we get the Pitstop podcast and the grid walks and we have cool friends and we have our amazing top trumps and everything else, and we've got all of those opportunities for people to come through. So yeah, it's come along, have a. It's not for everyone, but yeah, if you want to keep on the insights of what's happening in the world of accounting, then 8:30 Monday morning, there's your place.
Yeah, what time do you guys start? You must have a little meeting beforehand to make sure that you know what you're talking about, because it looks scripted. Sorry, it doesn't look scripted, but it looks planned. If that you see what I mean, there, don't you? Yeah.
So we jump onto StreamYard half an hour before we go live.
Brilliant.
Most of that time is just actually tech check. Right, microphones, cameras, internet speed. Mine started dropping out this week, and I had to sort that out quickly. And then we also then go, right, what are we going to talk about this week? So someone said to me the other week, like, oh, how do you get all this inside news? Like, no, it's not really inside news that we've got. Actually, what we're doing is what the BBC do on like a weekend when they're reviewing the papers at night, like 11 o'clock at night on the BBC News, they're reviewing the papers. That's all we're doing. Like Aaron and I keep up to date with things like Accounting Web and all of these other publications, and then we review our favorite stories.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing for the context of it. But yeah, we normally, every now and then there might be something come up during the week and it's like, oh, message each other. We need to talk about this on Monday.
Jot that down for Monday. Yeah, absolutely.
9 out of 10 times it's all right, 8:15 Monday, tech checks are done. What are we going to talk about? And it's
sometimes sometimes it's just purely community based, right? Like we'll go live and then so and so is going to talk in the comments about this, and this, and that's it. There's a deep dive into what problems they've got, how we would go about it, and everything else. Like that's the point. The community's there, right? We lean on the community as much as they lean on us to provide the content. So it works really well.
Fantastic, guys. That half an hour is gone super quick. Pavel's just said that attending other podcasts, LinkedIn posts and conversations really does help. And if you go to see you guys at Accountex, you can actually record a show reel, couldn't you? And get all that sorted. I'm going to ask you a question when I come back. I'm just going to quickly shout out for next week, because we have got like Caroline said, Rachel, and Phil and Stuart next week. I cannot wait to have a chat. We're going to be talking about branding and sharing loads of things, because these guys are smashing it out of the park when it comes to social media. So guys, my question to you is, what are you most looking forward to at Accountex? And I'll do reverse order. Johann, you can go first.
I think my favorite part is the networking, just saying hello to everyone. Like, we were at Fab earlier in the year, and that was just incredible. And so many new faces as well. Like, you go to a lot of these events, it's not the same people every event, but actually Fab brought in loads of new faces. London Accountex is just phenomenal. Like, there's so many people we get to meet for the first time there, and they'll go, oh, I'll watch your podcast, or I follow your LinkedIn channel stuff, or we're connected on LinkedIn. It's like, that's great, but yeah, like, you get to meet all these people that you just wouldn't meet otherwise, or you've built actually a working relationship online with, and you've had a few messages. Yeah, that networking and the pint in the pub afterwards and continuation of that networking, that is by far my favorite part. Absolutely.
Aaron?
Honestly, I can't wait to see what Caroline and the team's done. Like, each and every year it gets bigger. Each and every year there's something new, something like fantastic coming on. And I'm just, I remember finishing last year's and thinking, this is the best Accountex has ever been. Like, this is the best accounting conference has ever been at that point, right? And I know full well that I'm going to hold my beer and be like, right, actually, no, there's going to be a step up. There's another way of doing it. Like, and where's it going to go from here, right? Like, it's the world's, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, superb. Guys, thank you so much for coming on. Really, really lovely to have a chat with you. We're going to have to do this again, and I will see you in 28 days. Thanks ever so much indeed.
No problem. So fantastic to speak to you again.
Cheerio. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You get out what you put in. Never gonna